Hello, this is Group 2's video presentation, which is about power distance. Many researchers are still looking for explanation for the differences between national controls around the world. Why are some national controls different? Why do some countries have some beliefs and other countries have different ones? Why are there sometimes misunderstandings when one controls try to work with another? Hostiv then proposed a control analysis in terms of 6 dimensions of national control: power distance, uncertainty avoidance, individualism or collectivism, masculinity or femininity, long-term or short-term orientation, and endogen or restroom. Dimension is an aspect of something or a way to think about something. And the first of these 6 Hostiv control dimensions is called power distance. That means how much a society values hierarchy or how much distance is there between relationships. In large power distance, inequality in a society is considered a normal part. Superiors are a different kind of people, and the power relations are autocratic or paternalistic. In small power distance, on the other hand, the idea is that inequality is somewhere wrong and it should be reduced if possible, and the power relations are often more conjunctive or democratic. This video will show you power distance on student-teacher relationship, particularly in high school, so you can partially understand the power distance in different controls. We conducted a survey with 39 participants who are Vietnamese students from 15 high schools in Vietnam. There are 35 out of 39 students who suppose that teachers dominate students in their classrooms. Then 34 out of 39 students agree that teachers give marks and comments on students' papers by themselves without asking opinions from other students in class. Meanwhile, it is proved out by our survey that Vietnamese students tend to be stereotyped and relatively passive. There are 23 students, which accounts for about 59% of our participants, who argue that they let their teachers initiate communication. Most of them tend to refrain from stating their own opinions in front of other people. Thus, when students have questions, they ask their teachers after class. Vietnamese students also expect teachers to set goals for them, which is proved by 21 voters in our survey. Therefore, as shown in our research, power distance appear to influence teacher-student relationships largely in Vietnam. According to Hofstede's study, Asian countries such as Malaysia, Japan, South Korea, Thailand, and Hong Kong are categorized among the large power distance societies, while Western countries such as Great Britain, the USA, Canada, and Germany are classified in the small power distance societies. Vietnam is also considered as a large power distance society in which teachers dominate students who are expected to act as teachers instruct them to. In this society, as teaching is seen as the teacher-controlled process, students are expected to obey teachers, and free interaction is somehow prevented, which can be the danger of stereotyping. In this type of teaching method, interaction between teachers and students or students and students are limited. Hence, students are passive, use self-denial to fit into their ranks and hesitate to raise their voice in front of other people. On the other hand, in small power distance societies, teachers encourage student-centered learning by allowing students to share in decisions, believing in their capacity to lead, and remembering how it feels to learn. There are a lot of activities that are organized and directed by teachers, and a lot of engagement on the part of students. There are really good signs that teachers are moving around the room and involving not just in some big group context, but individually with each student. Obviously, this narrows the student-teacher distance. Students also actively take part in group work and discussions in class as they believe that they probably learn from their teammates. Students may have more independence in lessons when they are motivated to give their personal ideals and find their own answer in case of having questions, which helps them to develop self-study skill efficiently. Now, let's see how high school classrooms are going on in the USA.
We want kids to be in groups that will make them successful, where students not only express their ideas, but also learn from each other. We're trying to get every single student to have some hand in the learning.
All right, so we'll do what we usually do with a poem. We'll read it out loud together first, and then you're going to react. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? What do you think the poem is about? Shall I compare thee to a summer's day?
And today we analyzed Sonnet 18 from Shakespeare. Having a few students around me is extremely helpful. We'd analyze it and pick apart even the smallest things that I would never look at.
I don't get the middle,
The beauty of winter is going to go away eventually, but her beauty will never.
Anyone can interpret a poem differently. When you're in a small group and you're just with your peers, it's less intimidating. It's like, okay, I can share my ideas and not be afraid of being wrong. And when you're talking that way, I feel like you understand it.
Student choice and student ownership over the work is also a critical element of student-centered learning. Step 2 of the lesson, students were responsible for deconstructing each scene from Act 3 of Hamlet.
Do you guys want to work in pairs, or you want to do something each individually?
One group did a mind mapping exercise where they took the key elements of the scene that they were assigned. Another group decided that they wanted to do their own performance.
When a woman takes a second husband, it's because she killed off the first.
So the students had ownership, they were able to explore what they wanted to explore. At the heart of it was analysis. Do they understand what these characters are going through? Do they understand what Shakespeare is trying to get across?
He runs away because he's guilty.
And sing.
Then, what do Vietnamese overseas students in the US think about high school student-teacher interaction in Vietnam and the USA?
Giáo viên bên này thì mình không nói về khả năng sư phạm mà mình nói về cái thái độ khi người ta dạy thì hình như là không có khoảng cách. Mình được quyền mình ngắt lời người ta, hoặc là mình không hiểu, hoặc là mình không có đồng ý thì mình được quyền mình nói. Còn ở Việt Nam thì thầy nói sao là chọn nghe vậy.
Cái thời gian mà học ở Việt Nam á, là học trung học, mình còn nhỏ, mình chưa biết gì thì thầy cô dạy gì mình nghe đó, nói sao viết dạy, bảo học thuộc lòng cái gì thì học thuộc lòng cái đó. Ở Mỹ Mai thấy là họ bắt mình phải chủ động nhiều hơn, phải tham gia phát biểu, phải làm những cái project ngoài những cái bài tập ở lớp để mình hiểu bài, mà cũng như là kiếm một cái đề tài gì đó, một vấn đề gì đó thực tế để mà mình ứng dụng cái mình học nhiều hơn.
Hồi của mình á, là mình chỉ cần học bài thuộc, hoặc là nhưng mà mình học thuộc nhưng mà mình không có hiểu sâu xa, mình hiểu ý nghĩa của nó. Nhưng mà những đứa trẻ ở bên này nè, nó bắt buộc nó học theo nhóm và bắt buộc phải tìm thông tin, tìm tài liệu trên mạng và tự tìm hiểu hết mọi thứ. Và khi mà nó làm được như vậy thì nó sẽ hiểu sâu hơn vấn đề, nó áp dụng được thực hành nhiều hơn. Còn ở Việt Nam mình những đứa nhỏ đó thì sẽ không có cơ hội để áp dụng cái lý thuyết và thực hành.
To sum up, it can be assumed that there is a cultural element which aligns in the way of teacher-student interaction, and that cultural element is power distance. In large power distance societies, particularly in Vietnam or other Asian countries, teachers tend to dominate students and deprive them of free and active classroom interaction. The most important thing a child can learn in this kind of society is respect. Meanwhile, in small power distance societies, for example in Western nations, students interact with teachers and other students more actively and freely because Western education focuses more on individual learner creativity and independence. Hence, Hofstede suggests teachers abroad that if they're trying to cope with the perplexities of cross-cultural situations, the burden of adoption in cross-cultural learning situations should be primarily on the teachers.